I'm here with Elizabeth Ward, and today we're talking about problem solving. Elizabeth, you have some great ideas for getting organized.
Hi, Katie. Thanks for having me on the show. Well, I've been collecting beads for 20 years, so I have quite a big stash of my own to organize.
Oh, I would love to come and play in your studio someday. Well, how did you get started?
Well, I pulled everything together, and then I divided it into 4 categories: beads, findings, tools, and stringing materials.
Yeah, so this is wonderful because you can see everything.
Yes, I first decided to organize by color because it helps me when I'm designing. So this is my yellow-orange tray, and the transparency is really important for 2 reasons. First, when you can see what you have, you don't keep buying the same thing over and over again.
That makes sense.
And secondly, it just saves time. I can find what I need right away.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people get caught up in having a great idea, and then by the time they find everything they need, the magic is, the moment has passed, maybe.
Or maybe they have to go make dinner, and
right, there is that.
That's it, no more time.
Right.
So the transparency is very important, and also it's nice to have different sized containers. So for example, you can pick exactly the size container that you need and not put your beads into a very large container when really you don't need that.
Right, that's
so that
a good
really
idea.
helps you save space.
Yeah, and you can maximize the containers in the tray too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with my seed bead stash. This is what it used to look like in this box, and I just put all my seeds in here, and I put them in here, and look, I still have all this extra room.
They look beautiful.
Yeah, and they're so colorful and fun, and I can label everything too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and
you have quite a nice stash yourself.
Hey, yeah, you know, we all should just get together and have a swap.
That's right. Get rid of those excess. So another thing is that people like to track certain pieces of information about their beads. Some people like to keep buying the same color Swarovski crystal, or they need to know the size of a seed bead. A lot of people sell their work, and so if you mark how much you paid for something, then when you finish a piece and want to sell it, you know how much money you have invested in that piece.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. A nice way to keep track of what you have too. And like you said, with the duplicate purchases, that probably helps with that too.
Yes.
And you know what? I was thinking that you could make a copy of this or just cover it up if you needed to change the contents.
That particular label's removable.
Oh, you just take it off and put a new one.
So when you've sold or used up all those beads, you can just make up a new one.
Perfect. And do you have a lid for it? Oh yeah.
Yep, here's the lid. Put our beads away.
You're getting organized right here.
That's right. The next category I wanted to talk about was findings. So
let me move this one out here.
Most findings, I think, can be organized either by metal finish or by function. So if you wanted to put all of your earring findings together, you could. If you wanted to put all of your clasps together, you could. I like to more organize them by color because, again, I usually want to reach for a copper or silver color.
And I love the way that all the metals look together, of course, but you also have the larger containers with head pins, and then you have your smaller containers, and this is fun with their multiple colors of toggles in the same.
Yeah, I had the same style but in multiple colors, so that was easy. And that's kind of my go-to toggle. It's very basic. But some things, you know, in jewelry making, some things are so tiny like crimps, you just don't need a very big container to hold them.
Right.
So this is like your average packaging from the store. You'd come home, take it out of the big package, just drop it in there.
Handy.
Put it away.
Oh yeah, and you know one thing I should mention too is they're so easy to get out of the tray because they have those little finger
grips.
Indentations.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And at least with this, if you dumped it over, you wouldn't be left picking up masses of mixed up beads. At least you could just pick up the containers and put the containers away
back in the tray.
Okay, another thing is, what do you do with the project when you're in the middle? You haven't finished it, maybe you're interrupted. You know, I have a cat. My cat likes to come and lay on top of all my work.
They always seem to find it.
Yes, unerringly. So this is a work in progress tray with a bead board. You can, you know, work on your projects. You know, you could have your containers sitting open here. But when you're finished, you can put it away for the day and then come back the next day. And if you're like me, the next day I never like it as well. So I don't even put the clasp on now. I just leave it on the tiger tail, and then when I come back the next day, if I want to make a change, it's easy.
Oh, that's a really good tip.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at this one.
This one is for the tools.
So this is category 3, our tools and
tools
stringing materials.
Stringing materials. The tools, everybody has go-to tools, and for beaders, I think those are your small pliers, your round nose pliers, your wire cutters, your crimpers. So I like to keep them handy.
Makes sense.
And then we have spools. I've gotten into wire working lately, so I have a lot of spools of wire, but of course, you know, your cord you can also stack right here in this spool.
Yeah, and I like that you could kind of grab these and go too. If you wanted to work somewhere else, you could just take this with.
Yeah, you're gonna go to the living room and work in front of the television while you're watching Beads, Baubles and Jewels.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
But I also, once in a while, I'll do work with larger tools like hammers, and so this is for the things that won't really fit elsewhere.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people also have bottles of resin and polymer clay and all those kinds of things that are big and oversized.
Yeah, I call this my junk drawer because all of those things, like that polymer clay that won't fit, I put in this bin, and I can still stack it and put it away with the rest.
Well, these are some great tips for organizing. I hope you're going to leave these for us because I can sure see a stack of these back here on the set.
Absolutely, you're more than welcome.
All right,
to keep
thanks,
them.
Elizabeth. It's been great having you.